In terms of internships, so even though they are more like, driven based on a particular technical field, but you coming to work within our space, you get the opportunity to mix with people that, have worked in the organization, whether it's within Nigeria or all over the world, and they get to share their experience on how they started, the kind of skill sets. So you get to see that in action. And for me, I believe very much in action learning, because that's the only way you can, see what's going on and then get your hands dirty and begin to do some of the things that Okay, so thank you once again for coming, all of you. Really, really happy and excited that you're here with us in GE. I mean, these are the kind of things that we like to do. Identify young talent and help them in their career journey to be a value add to themselves first, and then be a value add to the companies they work for and then the country in general. So I like the fact that you've itemized 10 skills that based on your interactions with the different companies that you've worked with or have been able to place your interns in. These are the things that they tell you are the critical skills. So when I looked through the questions and the skill sets that you were looking at, I kind of like narrowed down everything. I'm like, this is our GE beliefs in a nutshell. So when I say GE beliefs, these are the values of the organization. These are the things that helps us to be able to achieve success as an organization, hire people into the organization. It also affects the way we develop people, the way we reward, and the way we manage talent and people's careers. So what I'll just do, I'll give you in a nutshell what the GE believes, and then I will, answer your questions along those lines so that you kind of understand what the company stands for, what we look for when we hire people, what we look for when we develop people. Problem solving is you taking something and breaking it down in order to be able to achieve a solution, right? Now that skill set is something that I see it all the time. So by the way, I see people trying to do problem solving, critical thinking, right? I see it all the time. And for us in G, it's something that you need for you to be able to be successful. If you look at our business within G in Nigeria, we have about 8 different P&Ls. That's 8 different individual businesses operating here, from healthcare, transportation, to oil and gas, to energy connections, power. Different businesses that do different things. And all these businesses are here because of the challenges that Africa has as a region, Nigeria has as a region. So if you look at everything that we do, these are things that the country needs. Now, in order to be able to do that, the skill sets you just talked about, critical thinking, problem solving. If you cannot solve a problem, or you cannot think about a problem from start to finish, you're not looking at it in silos, you're looking at it across all the possible scenarios that can come up with, and what you're coming into the situation is to think about how you can provide solutions, then there is no way you can be a value add to yourself or the company you're going to work for, or even the country. So for us in GE, when we hire people, we hire you because we believe the skill sets that you're bringing is going to be able to help us solve a situation or solve a problem. So if we say we're hiring an engineer today, we're hiring you because we know that your skill or the particular experience that you have is going to help us solve a particular problem or close a particular gap. So from day one, you are expected to be able to deliver results in an uncertain world, because what we do here, there are always things changing. So Lizzie would testify to this. Every day you work in GE, there's always change going on around you. Either the business is acquiring new portfolios, is disposing businesses where we no longer have any critical footprint there, or it's something that does not really complement our portfolio, or we are changing portfolios. And for you to succeed in this business, you have to be able to operate within that kind of scenario. So for us is, today you're working on something, tomorrow you start working on something, and it is always a problem we're trying to solve. So even if you look at the region as a whole, what is G trying to solve for? We're trying to solve the infrastructural challenges that the region suffers as a whole. So for us, problem solving is a given. You must have those kind of skill sets. When I look at critical thinking, it's you being able to sit down and look at a problem and say, okay, from start to finish, what are the kind of scenarios that will come up, and what do I do, to be able to provide solution along the way. Now, you ask the question, have I seen people with that kind of skill set? The answer is yes. Is it something that the way we're being trained or the way people are being exposed, does it enable you to think about it and be able to be ready for the outside challenges that the employment space expects you to have? Probably not 100%. We have a lot of challenges and we still have a long ways to go. So if I look at how maybe people in more developed societies, bring up children, there's also always that curiosity that comes into play. You're allowed to challenge the status quo. Maybe when I ask about your experiences, how you've been in school, maybe you can tell me how that has worked for you, because you start building the whole your muscles around problem solving and critical thinking when you're given the opportunity to ask questions, you're given the opportunity to challenge the status quo. And for me, if I use myself as an example, growing up in school, it was probably not like, oh, shut up, you shouldn't be asking that kind of question, So I don't know, what has been your experience? Maybe we can start from there. Yeah, you have some bright ideas. Let's hear.
Okay. Basically, I'll put it this way. I think most times the problem is not even the question. The problem is the person you're asking, can you answer the question?
So when you say that the person asking, can you ask the question, what do you mean?
I should elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it this way. There are some questions that maybe, for example, okay, let me give you a practical example. Maybe I'm in a class, maybe I'm an engineering class or something like that, and we're being taught something, and I now try to ask about a particular region, like how do they solve this kind of problem. Let me give you on power now.
On power?
Yes.
Okay.
Power. So if you are like, we're in a class and we're discussing about generation and all these distribution stuff, and we kind of ask that, okay, why can't we incorporate something that Denmark did and it worked for them? Why can't it work for it in Nigeria? The reply that we're going to get is not something that it's like they don't know. So basically, it's not even about who asking the question. It's about the people who are asking the questions. How well do they even know about these stuff? I think the level of how will I put it? The level of at which they can answer the questions is not that acceptable. I'll just put it there. So majority of the time, even if we have a very good question to ask, who are you going to ask the question? That's the problem.
I'm a law student, by the way, and I have some of them who are really open to listening to our questions. And amongst them, I have people who would give me an answer that would maybe meet my curiosity. So I have this particular lecturer who makes me think outside the box. And that's because it's possible he has had exposure in his own field and he wants to instill the right set of values and the right set of knowledge that we should have. But on the other way around, we have some lecturers who would, in the bid to answer your question, dive from it. So you are left to go an extra mile in looking at for that particular answer, maybe by taking your smartphone and googling it yourself or something. So it's two-way. We have some lecturers who are ready to make you think outside the box, and we have some who are not just ready to do that.
Okay, so if we move away from your university experience, right? Let's go down to maybe primary school. What was the kind of experience you had there? Were you encouraged to ask questions? Because I remember, if I think about some of my classmates, right, the ones that had the highest level of curiosity probably were the ones that got into trouble the most. Because they were like, oh, you this stubborn child, you're always asking questions. But you know what? That is something that when you look at the developed countries, they love that, because it's from asking questions that you now develop that whole thing around thinking outside the box. Why is this piece of paper this way? Why is it not a rectangle? and that's where you have creativity coming. So again, I know we're delving into other things, not probably creative thinking or problem solving, but for me, all these things come together and help you to begin to start thinking about things differently. Because if you didn't have the opportunity to ask questions, be curious, then if you're doing critical thinking, you would only look at what is within your space and not be broad in your thinking, right? Also, in terms of problem solving, if you're trying to solve a problem, you only think about what you are used to or what you have seen, and not try to look at how the dots connect. Or you will not be a systems thinker. You're thinking about just what you know. So for me, if I use myself as HR, for instance, if we have to recruit, we're recruiting, okay, let's say we're trying to find application engineers, let me even use that, right? And the kind of questions that my business expects me to ask is, okay, what are we solving for? Why do we need application engineers? When we bring them in, what kind of development are we going to give them? Where are we going to find these skill sets from? Where are they based? You have to start thinking, and when they graduate, when you do the development, what are you going to do with them? How are you going to make sure they stay within your business? You have to think from start to finish with the end goal in mind, not just on where you are right now. Okay, so for me, problem solving is always about, okay, you're providing a solution that will add value. Critical thinking is you always trying to come up with a result or a solution that will be able to add value, and you're not just thinking about the immediate space. You're thinking long term, looking at how the dots connect, how the system connects. So within an organization, we call it systems thinking. You're looking at how your decision or your solution or the question you're being asked affects the entire system rather than just your immediate space. We invest a lot in talent programs like every other organization that operates out of Africa or Nigeria. So we believe that when we recruit, we consistently take out of the talent pool, but we also have to replenish. So we start from the whole value chain is start engaging with universities. If I let me even backtrack, we're even trying to go further down and trying to build the interest in STEM education, and so once we start doing that, right, we start getting people to start interfacing with mentors, coaches, so that they can begin to impart some of the knowledge and experiences that they've learned, right? So we do that. We bring people into our space, we talk to them. In terms of internships, so even though they are more like driven based on a particular technical field, but you coming to work within our space, you get the opportunity to mix with people that have worked in the organization, whether it's within Nigeria or all over the world, and they get to share their experience on how they started, the kind of skill sets. So you get to see that in action. And for me, I believe very much in action learning, because that's the only way you can see what's going on and then get your hands dirty and begin to do some of the things that we want people to know. So we do internships. We also have NYC join us, so people do their youth service with us as well. Then we have the Africa program. It's called the Early Career Development Program. So all these programs, we use them for early identification in terms of identifying high potential talent, right? Then after the Africa program, there are global programs that we do across all the different businesses, that is either application engineers, HR, finance, project management. So we have different skill sets, and within those skill sets you're taught both leadership and the technical part. So in the leadership space, things like the soft skills, the leadership skills, what makes you successful, how to interact with people, different cultures, different countries, you all get that. So once you're here with us, the opportunity to interact with people that have had experience doing a job, working in an organization, gets rubbed up for you. Now the question I'm sure you're going to ask me, how many? It's not enough. There's a lot we can do. I mean, the GE Garage, and you guys have gone around. Well, why did we set it up? It's about building entrepreneurship skills, building skill sets in terms of advanced manufacturing, because the world is changing. There's several things that, when we sit down and we look at Nigeria as a country, what are other countries doing in terms of, building skill set, so you hear a lot about artificial intelligence. We hear all sorts of things. Brilliant factories that are self-automated, they do things as if, already somebody is there. So you are relying less on human beings to be able to do all these things. So the question to ask yourself is, in that kind of world, how does your skill set stack up? So for me, it's not even about the critical thinking, problem solving. It's about what value are you adding? That's the question I would always ask you. And that's the question I always ask myself when I wake up. What value are you adding? And in this world that is constantly changing, the world is moving so fast. G is moving so fast. What are you adding? What is special about you that you're bringing to the table that every company in this nation or in Africa will be looking for you because they want you to come and join the organization? Right? So those are the things that for me I feel, you should be asking yourselves. You can always get on an internship program, you can always get on a program, but the question is, when you do get on, what's the value add for you, for the company you work for the country that you live in, and for Africa? And well, that extends globally as well. I think for me, the most important thing is striving to do much more than what everybody else is. So how do you stand up and be noticed? That's what you need to do. The G beliefs, customers determine our success. So it always goes back to, why are we in business? We're in business to make money. And our customers are very key for us. We have to do everything to make sure that they are delighted in the services that we provide. We need to stay lean to go fast. So again, we talked a bit about artificial intelligence, additive manufacturing, brilliant factories, and all that whole automation, asset performance management in terms of digital skills. Instead of sending a human being to go and check whether the pipeline has an issue, you just put so within G we call it other predicts. We just have all these asset performance tools. You just put it there. It continues to monitor what the equipment is doing. Yeah. So let me ask you, between you and a tool that is very, very smart, do you understand? So it's, what exactly are you bringing to play? Learn and adapt to win. So again, I talked about change. It is here to stay in every facet of your life, whether it's economic, political, social. It is change. I mean, we started off with change, happening and everything, guys. So that's how do you deal with change? You empower and inspire each other, teamwork, making sure that, so I'll go back again, you problem solve, critical thinking. You can't do it alone. You need people to be able to help you in your journey, right? So if you're going to problem solve, there's always somebody that will probably have a different perspective that will make you go faster. There's always somebody that will bring new reasoning or new thinking to whatever you're trying to do. How well are you reaching across? How well are you being inclusive to kind of understand different perspectives, and how open-minded are you, right? Then delivering results in an uncertain world. So the world is uncertain, and for us in GE, that is a guarantee. We're constantly trying to solve the challenges that the world has. For Africa, these are real issues: healthcare, transportation, power. Right? You guys see that. I'm sure you cannot count the number of times that light goes off. And when it goes off, then you're now constantly looking for a rechargeable lamp or do that. How would it feel if you have light 24/7? We all know what the impact would be, right? How would it be when you walk into a hospital and you feel comfortable that you have, world-class equipment that can do anything, check and diagnose you properly? Yeah? How would you feel if you can get on a train ride from Lagos to go to Maiduguri? These are some of the things that GE is trying to solve here. So for us to be successful within our organization, the skills you mentioned, the two that we talked about, problem solving, critical thinking, and a whole lot more are very important to make you successful, right? So, I mean, I will close in a nutshell to say GE is supportive of building talent. GE is supportive of doing internships. We already have an internship program that runs, the one that starts from school, the one that you do during your youth service, the early career program for Africa, ECDP, and then the global programs that cuts across all the different functions to help you, build careers within the different fields. So for us, that's what we do here, and we're very proud to say that it's something that we're well known for. We've actually acquired the bragging right to talk about, how we develop leaders, and it's something that we shall continue to do. We've done it for the last 125 years, and it's something that we shall continue to do. It's a must. If not so, it will get to a stage whereby there will be nothing. So it's like, imagine a fishing pond. You started out with large fish, varieties of fish, and every day you go, I want to get tuna out, and you get a large size. So you keep on taking out, and you don't replenish with, after some point there'll be no more fish. So that's exactly what's happening with the pipeline here in Nigeria. A lot of companies have continued to take, but are we replenishing? Are we building it with the right skill set? So starting from how people are being trained in school to how they get into the workforce. So right now there are challenges along those different parts. The way the curriculum we have, is it aligned with 21st century thinking? The opportunities, or even the kind of courses we teach in school, right? I mean, I've had some courses in some universities that I've never heard anybody talking about them. We don't teach them here. The companies that are recruiting this talent, the skill sets that we're developing the talent for, we don't need it. So how do we bridge that gap, right? So, and this is how, you see a lot of companies, what they're doing is now they're partnering up with different universities to begin to, take this talent and then give them the opportunity to develop in different ways. So you begin to influence right from the beginning. But it's not enough. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and I don't think it's a private sector responsibility alone. The government has the responsibility, the schools have a responsibility, the private companies have a responsibility in terms of telling the schools and government the kind of, and then I also think there's also this misconception that everybody must have a university education. There are a lot of people that I know personally that want to have a technical career or do something with their hands. I want to be the best carpenter because I'm really good with woodwork, with wood, and I can come up with some amazing pieces. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that kind of game, right? What are we doing to help people to start developing that kind of skill set? So I think there's a lot of diversification that still needs to happen. We still need help in terms of the way we educate. And it will happen. Just, timelines is, I don't know whether the world is waiting for us. Like we said, everything is moving very fast. So we'll see how that goes. A CV, you don't need to have 10 pages. No, seriously, you don't. And in fact, for us, the benchmark is 1 page. So I have my CV written on 1 page. Just 1 page. So the whole idea is, it's not everything you put in your CV. When you come into an interview setting, I'd rather have a discussion with you and you are able to articulate what you have done, right? So you hear people talk about competency-based interviewing, which is you telling us about a situation where you had the opportunity to exhibit that skill set. So like what you just gave an example of now in terms of problem solving, there was an issue. What did you do about it? What was the outcome? And if you had the opportunity to do it differently next time, what would you do? So those are the kind of questions you will get asked in an interview setting. So your CV is a snapshot of you. Then when you get invited to come for the interview, you get the opportunity to talk about it. So it's not about putting that whole story about the university borehole on your CV. By the time you do that, that's like 2 pages, I'm sure. Trust me, as a HR person, I'll look at this and I'll do that. I'm like, not interested. Because it's a long read. It's not capturing my attention. And if you have to like go through CVs, whether it's electronic or it's not helpful. Okay? I see somebody, you do something and you don't bring your A game to it. You only have one opportunity, one platform to be able to showcase your very best. So take it and do an amazing job. Do you understand? So that's what I would just say. At any point in time, wherever you are, you never know where the opportunity would come. Always bring in your best. I see a lot of expectation that is not matched with the willingness to do the hard work to get to where, you know, I see a lot of that. I also see a lot of you know, I will be lucky, it will happen. Guys, a lot of the success stories, some people were lucky, you know, they get to be at the right time at the right place, but you have to put in the hard work. What are you adding? What is special about you that you're bringing to the table that every company in this nation or in Africa will be looking for you because they want you to come and join the organization? So be intentional, be deliberate about what you want out of your life. I think that's where I would stop. Yeah? All right.
Thank you for having us, Clara.
You're welcome. You're welcome.